welcome to this episode of Ruff Talk VR. It's pretty crazy month coming up in VR news, so no way we can miss a week of it. I mean, in the next month we have the MetaQuest showcase. Sony's doing a gaming showcase. Apple's doing their event that, you know, all the hype is that they're going to drop their or announce their headset officially. And then also Upload VR has a showcase in the next month. So June's going to be crazy. No way we can miss a week of news leading into it.
You say it all the time. The whole year's started off just bomb after bomb coming in with games, more speculative games. And yeah, now with all these showcases hitting, it's going to be a very interesting month.
Yeah, well, we often talk about our backlog and our whiteboard, and it's like, dude, there's been some weeks these past couple months where all of a sudden there's 4 or 5 more games.
This is the first time
we're talking about like a system to filter some out. It's crazy.
It's not even, I mean, it's awesome to see because it's like, wow, but to this level, we haven't seen this. We haven't experienced it like this.
Well, when we first started this podcast, the original thing was we're just going to do reviews. And then we quickly went to interviews, and then news became a part of it too.
Yeah.
And part of the reason for that was, you know, I remember being like a month or two in, and you were like, dude, if we don't make interviews and stuff a bigger part of the show, we're going to run out of games to review.
We're going to go through all the games, man. Because, I looked at the catalog back then, and I was doing the math, and I'm like, because at that point, too, we were doing a game review, and then we do an App Lab specific review. So I was looking at what both had. And there was a short time, too, where I was like, I think there's more games in App Lab right now than there is in the official store.
And now it's without a doubt.
We're screwed. Oh, yeah. But just something about 2023 has been like, every time I turn around, there's a new game we got to try. And I'm like,
yeah, we couldn't review the whole store if we tried. Now,
no,
you know, it's cool to see it hit this point though.
Yeah. I just feel bad because I know that in certain instances we have to pick and choose our, you know, and it sucks because I want to give everybody a fair shot.
That's the part of the goal of doing it full time. So if you want to check out the Patreon, you know, we'll plug that a little bit later. I won't go ranting about that yet, but yeah, no. And dude, we're talking about just things that we know about, not even things that have been, you know, whatever's hidden for the showcases.
Who knows what's coming out next week, you know.
Ooh, it's crazy. And again, the MetaQuest showcase is June 1st. So today's, you know, May 22nd.
I've been calling it the speculation showcase.
Yeah, well, my first note for today's discussion is just to talk about the MetaQuest, you know, social media accounts, especially their Twitter. They keep dropping these like cryptic tweets of like, you know, hey, you want a hint for the showcase? And then they'll drop like 5 emojis, or they'll post like a pixelated little like picture. And you're like, well, this could be anything, but it's like, man, they're getting my hype going.
Dude, people were dropping them in. I thought it was just people in our Discord, but then I was on Reddit and I was like, holy shit, people are actually doing this everywhere. They're dropping the emojis in the AI programs and being like, what is it?
I think it was Gamertag VR was the first one I saw to do that.
Yeah.
And because it was for their first one, and it came back with like a guess of a Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, that's possible because there was a spider in the...
It's a good guess.
But here's the, you know, in some of these posts, it seems like maybe all the emojis are related. And in other ones, it seems like maybe each emoji represents a different game.
I was going to bring it up. It's like, when I saw the one with the spider and I was trying to put everything together, and it's like, are they actually? But I have to go with individual only
that's
because
my guess too,
because if they're announcing 40 plus different games,
that's the
showcase,
rumor.
Yeah, I mean,
there was one with like a monkey and a ball, and I was like, maybe those ones are all related, like that tweet. But then you'll see ones where they'll go through like 5 or 6 different pixelated pictures, and it's like, there's no way those are all related.
No, I don't think any of them are related.
And it's awesome.
I think they're all individuals.
If you go on the Twitter comments of any one of them, you know, 60% of the replies are GTA.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what's shown.
You could do an emoji of a poop.
Yeah,
and someone would be like, GTA.
It's like with the monkey one.
It confirmed it.
Yeah,
that's it. I saw it.
I don't remember any monkeys and balls in GTA San Andreas, but
you know what one had me kind of like, the hazmat suit.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Half-Life.
Maybe. Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
You know,
again, it's all speculative.
Yeah, it's like, so I think that we're going to see some Batman. That's my guess because Batman VR was referenced in
Batman.
in an FTC filing when their whole when they were having the issue with buying the Supernatural developers. That's when that came out in those documents, and we haven't heard anything.
You think we're going to see actual game footage?
No, just an announcement, maybe footage, maybe a trailer at the most, but I don't think it'll come out. But I think we'll see an announcement there. I'm hoping we'll see realistically some more info about Ghostbusters. What I'll say endlessly, what I selfishly want, and it's no indication it's going to happen, and it's definitely not, but I'll pray for it every time, is Civilization VR.
Yeah, I don't know where you're getting this from. Like, I don't know where you're getting this.
Nowhere. It's no indication. I say endlessly, there's no indication it's coming.
I laugh every time you say it.
I just want it. I'll say it until the right person hears it. And
I want GTA, and so far it's been...
At least that one's been announced.
Yeah, I actually think we're going to see some footage of GTA.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little bit more...
And I think we're going to get a release date on Ghostbusters.
Yeah, I think we'll see more footage on it, possibly a release day. I'm comfortable with agreeing with that. And, the other week I was a little bit more skeptical when you were like, I think we'll get some Quest 3 info. Mm-hmm. And I was like, maybe at the most a teaser. Man, now, I mean, I wouldn't even be surprised if we saw the whole headset be showing off. It's funny how much has changed in a couple weeks, in my opinion, in that regard, just because of how loose Meta's been with their tweets, mm-hmm. their little teasers.
Now there's even speculation of like pre-order for Quest 3. But I think that's just like...
That's hope.
Yeah. But this is another thing I thought was just specific to our Discord, and come to find out it's not.
Well, here's the thing. If it's
just people were like, you never know.
If they came out with the specs and the pricing and said pre-orders for it to come out in October, would you pre-order that day? I would have my...
I'm going to pre-order it if my phone went off right now with a text message and it's like, yo, you can pre-order it right now. Then I'm pre-ordering it right now. As we're recording, I don't know fucks given.
So it's cool for on the Meta's marketing side. I don't remember ever being so hyped for a gaming showcase before. I've always looked forward to them when they announced them, but I don't remember them generating the same level of...
No, the buzz this year is bigger than last year.
Mm-hmm. There's something in the air. Usually they announce it and then it's kind of quiet and then it comes out, but there's been these little teasers nonstop. I never remember it like this.
Meta's crushing it with how they're marketing this one.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really having to. They just say this is the date and time, and they put out tweets with cool emojis, which for all we know are specifically the opposite of what every game could be.
Yeah, they're just pressing random emojis.
Never know.
Yeah.
What's the opposite of a spider? That's probably what the game is. Yep. A bat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So there's your bat. We'll
there's
put a
your
spider.
Batman. What's the opposite of a hazmat suit? Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm enjoying the ride, and I think other people are having fun speculating on what we'll see and not see. But the only people who really know is Meta.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm sure some...
And a handful of game developers.
Yeah, I was going to say the people making the games as well. It's funny, when I saw a hazmat suit, the first thing my brain went to was Fallout, but there's no way...
I thought that too, but I'm like, it's too big.
Even Fallout 3, I'm like, I don't know if you could get it running on a Quest. As much as I want like Elder Scrolls as well, it's like, no way you're ever doing Skyrim on a Quest. Oblivion would be really cool, but I think you would even have to go back to Morrowind, which I'd be cool with,
Yeah, but I don't think it's that.
I don't think you could get Oblivion or Fallout 3 running on the Quest. But,
the first thing I thought was Fallout.
Yeah.
Now I'm just reaching at I'm reaching at straws.
Yeah. My skeptical with Half-Life is it being Valve,
Yeah, 1,000,000%. But would it not be a smart move?
Mm-hmm. I agree. That would be a killer.
I mean, in VR, to me, money's money. I mean, there's no hate if you're on the Quest and you have a release for PlayStation. Well, it's actually encouraged. Everyone's rooting for you. They're like, yes, more people that can try it and play it. And
I'm sure Valve is very happy with the money that they make off sales off of, Meta-owned games such as Beat Saber and stuff like that off their Steam platform.
Cut,
so yeah, I get what you're saying. But besides the cryptic little lead up tweets, just
teats.
about teats, these
sucking
teats.
on that meta teat.
Just these cryptic little tweets. Besides that, what really pushed me over that, maybe we will actually see some more Quest 3 stuff than I thought a couple weeks ago, is seemingly quote unquote by accident. And I never think it's by accident. That it was a clever little marketing thing.
Good marketing.
For a day, if you went on your MetaQuest app, on all apps for the Quest 2, under the compatibility with devices, it showed new Quest. And then if you went on in your side of your actual headset and you went in the in-game store there and you went to the store page and you went down to, compatible headsets, it said specifically Quest 3. And then now it's gone. But for a day that was there.
And that could have been a server test too.
Yeah, people were like, oh, it was maybe a mistake by them. I don't think it's a mistake.
No. Dude, we know that like the communication chain at Meta is fucking ginormous.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, you are not making an independent decision without
or an accident
without 82 people above you knowing it just, no, that's anything that you see come from them is deliberate. It's 100% deliberate. Look, for all we know, they're not just going to take pre-orders after the event. They'll be selling the shit after the event. Nothing is out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, well, I would consider that unlikely. Would I be comfortable to bet money on it not happening? No, because there's enough of a percentage.
My brain
chance.
says it won't happen, but I don't believe that enough that I would put money on it.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
correct.
Not willing to put money where my mouth is on that one because we don't know.
I think they like the shock and awe marketing. It works well. Just like shadow drops. We've discussed before. It doesn't work well in flat screen.
Well, do you think
if it works good in VR?
Do you think we're going to see some shadow drops post this showcase?
What do you mean in the showcase?
Okay, do you think if there is actually 40 games being showcased, do you think we're going to see one or two available within the next week after the showcase? I think so.
Well, we already know there's a handful of games coming out, I think, on the day of the showcase that, aren't publicly hiding it.
The only way I would think that they push out the Quest 3 faster is if it's to get ahead of Apple, who has, their WWDC.
Dude, if they start taking pre-orders, the minute, the shit ends, or, the best case scenario for all parties involved, is like one for sale, which is, we know it's not going to happen. But if they did, I mean, how do you justify spending $500-600 on a new headset and then spending $3,000?
Well, just to get into that,
or $3,000 to $6,000, we don't know.
Apple's WWDC conference is coming up, early June. I think it starts June 5th, and it's a couple days long. The word on the street the past 3 years is that they were going to announce their headset at this conference the last 3 years, and every year it comes and goes, and it's not. But it seems the strongest this year that it will.
He's going to come out wearing it.
It seems the consensus that there's at least going to be something announced or showcased. I'll be honest with you. I'm like 70% sure, but just because of the amount of delays and, contradictory reports and, changes that have occurred, I'm never 100% confident on anything related to Apple announcements or releases until they officially say it themselves.
I believe it with their phones, and I believe it with their watches.
What, when you hear rumors about
and their
releases?
Their iPads and all that, I believe it, because a lot of times in those cases, someone gets their hands on one and they take a photo of it, or I think that one case where somebody left it at the bar.
Yeah, that was like the iPhone 4 or something like
gangster. Just, I'll leave it at the bar. I'll come back later.
But even that one, I'm skeptical of how accidental that one was. You know.
But I'm thinking the headset's a done deal now. I think we're gonna see it. We're gonna see it in action at their conference. We're gonna see, but I love to have one, just can't afford one. Well, so that's all it comes down to. So I'm not going to hate on them, but I'd really like to try it. I've got, I'm not
an Apple hater. Every Apple product I've used is really good.
Phone's right in front of me,
right here. Boom,
dude. I have the old where the iPads, where the little iPad minis there, so you could use for exercise. Straps to your arm, and it plays like your little disc of music. No, I've been on board since day one, but it's like, I don't know. It's a high-end headset with high-end expectations. No controllers.
$3,000, no controllers.
Hands only.
Yep, that's the rumor.
Battery on the outside. In your back pocket, whatever. No attached battery.
Wire.
Which some people are loving. And I'm like, okay. The minute there were headsets that came out for the Quest that had the battery in the back that you could plug into.
Like our Kiwi one. Our sponsor, Kiwi. Full disclosure, they're a sponsor, but we love their battery.
It's
game changer. We used to actually do a power pack in our pocket.
Yeah.
with a cord running up. And there's times it got in the way with gaming.
Well, especially the way we play some of the Slash
Yeah.
games and stuff,
Yeah,
like windmilling it and shit. And it's like,
You look at a game coming out like Everslot next month. I think that's dropping on June 1st. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I
you
wouldn't
already
want to
know.
play that
I don't
with
want
a
a cord
cord.
dangling off the side of my face.
But they say no games for this. It's a $3,000 headset, no games, no controllers. So it's like, that swinging your arms around isn't for their market. So here's what I'll mean by contradictory reports. I think overall Apple entering the ecosystem of VR, the market, that's a huge plus, right?
Absolutely, it is.
Apple makes a great thing. And I agree with, what I've heard some people speculate or say is the rumor that, look, they just want to get their first headset out. Yeah, it's going to be expensive, but it's not about sales. It's just get the first one out, and then it's going to be the second, the third, the fourth that get cheaper and better. And I could understand that. But then there's also reports that come out last week that Apple expects to sell 10 million headsets in the first year, with each, Apple retail location selling it one a day. And it's like, well, then it's going to be a failure. And then it's going to look very bad for VR
No, it's not going to look bad for VR at all.
Well, when the reports come out and go, Apple only hit 2 million of their 10 million,
hey,
the tech industry media isn't going to spin that in the most positive light.
I don't think it's going to matter because they'll be looking at the sales from the Quest 3. And at that point, it's going to look like it's shit all over Apple.
Well, let's say the Quest 2 did sell.
Hurt.
Let's say it did sell 20 million. Do you think the Quest 3 is going to sell more than 20 million?
Per same amount of years since release? Yes.
Yeah, I believe so too.
Yep.
I'm
so
so confident of it.
I haven't met a single Quest 2 user who hasn't said they wouldn't upgrade. Some people can't because of financial reasons, and I get that. And there's still people using the Quest 1 who are waiting for the Quest 3.
Yeah, they were vocal since that they were going to skip that.
I'm going to wait.
It came out too close. Too close to the Quest 1.
So for the same amount of time, I don't think it's going to be like 20 million in a month.
No.
But if we give them the same time from the Quest 2 launch to the day that people physically get the Quest 3 in their hands, I think it's going to outsell.
Well, that's my problem with the app report.
Sure.
10 million in the first year. It's like not even in its lifespan.
No, I don't see that happening. I'm sorry. And I want them in the market to offer what they do for the people that do it. But if it's not a gaming headset, right? Who are these 10 million people that would take that versus a different? I mean, I just don't understand.
The only way you're hitting a sale a day at a retail outlet is if, these 60, 70-year-old people looking in to help you, ask to get a screen protector put on their phone, and you start pushing a headset at them. That's the only way you're going to reasonably hit that. And like that, you're going to lose them as customers.
And that's not happening.
No. My grandfather goes in there looking for a new iPhone, and they push a headset on him. I think he might leave with no iPhone now and be an Android user. Like realistically, I don't see that. I don't see that whole interaction going positively if they push it. You said something off air that I agree with that. Well, yeah, they could hit those numbers if they bundle it in with,
Yeah.
Would you say 2 iPhones?
Get 2 iPhones and get 2 iPhones at the full cost,
Yeah, and you get a free
$1,000 each, and we'll give you the headset for free. And then count that as an actual physical retail sale.
But going back to my skepticalness of all these reports, I don't believe anything I don't believe anything about Apple rumors unless it comes from Apple in the sense that this could not even be their real numbers. I just hope it's not, because if so, the narrative's going to be very bad when they don't hit those numbers.
Well, unfortunately, the article comes out saying that, but there hasn't been anyone from Apple saying it's, no, we're not.
Yeah.
They obviously have a physical expectation, or you have to have a business plan. You can't go into it with it's a real who's to say, Well, we're going to make a lot of them, and, we'll let you know in a year. No, they have to, but they're not disputing that 10 million wasn't their projection.
No, they just do the smart thing, and they don't confirm or deny. They don't say anything, because confirming or denying would mean that the headset exists.
Well,
and doesn't work, which they haven't.
It puts a lot of pressure at that point from an investment standpoint that you now got to, you got people who are going to be like, oh shit, they're definitely going to do this. I'm going to throw a lot of money around on this. And then
Apple's smart with how they do it, because, they never confirm or deny. It's obvious that a headset's in work. There's patents. They patented even the last couple of weeks, new operating system names. It's, even you're pretty confident the headset's being showcased at this event.
That is my
like I said, I'm like 70% sure. If the whole showcase
I'd
came
put
and
money
went,
on it.
if the whole showcase came and went, and it wasn't shown, I would go, that wasn't the most surprising thing in the whole world I've ever seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that wicked sucks.
Because it's anything can happen until it's official. But I'm like 70% sure it's coming.
You know what?
I just don't believe anything until it's...
Dude, how's this? You're doing your freaking showcase, and the only thing I hear people talking about is the headset.
Yeah, well, last year...
So it's like there's not any grandiose hype like there is around this headset. So they have to.
But that's what people said last year. Then they showcased a freaking TV show commercial trailer, and people were like, "See, it's the headset teaser." So it's like, I think people will take anything too and run with it if it slightly fits it to be a headset teaser, even if it's not, But if Tim Cook comes out there wearing it to open the fucking show, that's gangster.
That's how I envision it.
Then that is how you do it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't even say like
make a statement.
Yeah, dude.
But
that would be pretty badass.
We'll see how it performs. Yeah. I mean, I want to hear people's reviews on it. Mm-hmm. Who actually get it in their hands. So let's see what this thing's going to do for the industry.
Yeah, reports are crazy. I even saw on Upload VR, which I like Upload VR for going to news and stuff like that. But I saw them share a news article that Apple engineers tricked Tim Cook into financing the VR headset by saying it was for, to get the research and development for the AR headsets, and that they would pitch it as that they were working on AR glasses, and then took 90% of those funds and worked on the VR headset instead. Do you know how ridiculous that is?
I'm not buying it.
That's childish.
When you
to
were
be
telling
honest
me about
with
it,
you,
I'm
it's like we're running off with finances, and that's not how shit works.
Again, it's not like Apple's, some garage run fucking business.
You think Tim Cook wasn't aware of what was going on?
Do you know the amount of accountants that work for Apple, dude?
It's
in
such
finance. It's not like one lady who's overwhelmed smoking a cigarette and a coffee with the lipstick on the fucking cup going, "Oh my God, I can't keep up with all these purchase orders."
But that's how hype people are, man. They're believing anything. Like that is the most childish, like
tricked them.
Tricked the CEO into 90% of the funds given.
Hey, come on, boss. Come on.
Hey, look, I know 7 years later we were supposed to have this AR headset, but check out this headset.
What's
this
a couple
this VR
mil
headset,
between employees, Come on. We got lots of it.
I am so confident that Tim Cook was aware of every step of this headset's development.
I'm not. I can't buy that. And if I did, I want to know that that's a former employee that they heard that from. Because, at that point if it were my business and I found out that people I trusted took money that I approved and used it for something
out of
else,
the fucking company for one, maybe even a lawsuit. Like, dude, it's a problem. You can't do that.
I look at it as no different than stealing.
Yeah, you can't do that.
At that point, you've stolen from me. So get the fuck out.
It was such a it was ludicrous. So I was like, wow.
I wouldn't wait till a Friday. I don't care if it's Tuesday fucking morning. Security showing up. And you're being escorted off your property and stripped of all your Apple products.
Yeah, and now the reports that came out last year is that Apple's completely scrapped their development of an AR glasses for now, which they want to go back to it later, but it's off the table for now. So it's like, dude, come on. That was.
I'm not falling for
and
that.
Then apparently a leaked analyst.
It's probably wicked true though.
That would be a great movie.
But then that just, I want to work for that guy because he's obviously a pushover.
And then that's the thing. I doubt Tim Cook operates like that.
Fucking cut myself a couple of mil.
And then
work from the Bahamas.
Some document got leaked online in Chinese that's supposedly from like a Chinese manufacturer about preparing for the order for the headset, and it broke down like the cost of each part. Basically the whole inside components, the cost of it, and it totaled up to $1,500. If this is real, but I'm like 30% on any, all these rumors are just.
I'd have to have someone
all over the place
who can read Chinese actually look at the document and see if it was just converted from English to Chinese and put on a document.
Yeah, Bradley Lynch was speaking about it with some credibility, like saying it was a little bit legit, but it's. So he was a little bit of a reputable one talking about it, but I'm still skeptical, man. Because
even if it is, it's like, okay.
If it's $1,500, do you think that they would sell it for $3,000 still?
Yeah, 1,000,000%.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the sad reality to retail, and it's weird because this keeps popping up in my life like the past month.
You can't get away from it.
No, like
Try to leave
every
the retail
area,
world.
but it's kind of making some sense on me now. But the old days of retail, no matter what you really sold, it's like, well, we all know that electronics have like the least amount of markup when they go from price to shelf. Like the stores aren't making bank on them.
Mm-hmm.
But you used to be able to just double. If you bought something for $10, you sold it for $19.99, and you made, decent money on your margin. But now people are going like minimally 58%, 68%, 78%. If it's coffee or popcorn, it's 1,000%. So those are the businesses you really should be in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I think they would have to, just to
especially with tech,
to pay for everything.
When you deal with returns as well. I don't know the way that works with the insurance and write-offs and stuff. I don't know.
Distribution, the shipping, the everything. It's like every minute of that headset's life is a cost.
Plus, when you factor in...
And that's just the manufacturer cost. That's not including the shipping, the boxing, the marketing, the labeling.
And most importantly, the research and development that went into that. You need to factor that into the hardware cost as well, Yeah. Unless they completely plan on winning off of software on this, but I don't think that's the case.
If it costs $1,500, so now you got me concerned, because if it costs $1,500 and it's this latest and greatest, it's gonna part the seas. I might be more inclined to think that the $3,000 price tag is not going to be holding up, and it might be more like $445.
Well, we did a little roundtable with the 3 Pound Games crew, and there was a gentleman there. Hey, it's Clay.
He's a cool dude.
He was saying he thinks it was going to be more than $3,000.
Yeah, and I think he threw some high numbers out there too. I would go with that. I could see it being 45.
But here's the thing. I can support that. I have no problem with that as long as we're reasonable with the sales expectations too. But so just to conclude my whole Apple thoughts, I don't believe the sales rumors. Mm-hmm. I don't believe the, hiding funds and projects and, diverting resources secretly. I don't believe that stuff. I do think most likely this headset's going to be showcased at this conference.
It has to be. It's not it's not an option.
If it wouldn't,
they need to fancy up some 3D printed bullshit and come out with it and throw some make believe effects. They have to do whatever they have to do.
I don't believe the hardware costs thing that got leaked. I don't believe anything besides that it's most likely going to come out. That's basically where I settle on my Apple rumors with this headset after 3 years of on and off changed, and then it's using an M1 chip, then it's using an M2, then the battery's on the outside, it's on the inside, there's controllers, there's no controller. It's just been all over the place.
It has laser beams, it doesn't have laser beams.
So I'm of the point, about a year ago, I said, when it comes to Apple, whatever I see is the reality announced from Apple, that's what I believe. Until then, stay tuned, But what was cool is Palmer Luckey, the founder of Oculus, kind of considered the reigniter of the current modern VR, revival. He went out and said that he tried an earlier model of the Apple headset, not what's going to come out right now, just an earlier edition. He said it was great. He said it was awesome. And also in an interview, later in the same interview, he went on Twitter and said that the Apple headset was great, but then in an interview, he kind of went a little bit deeper in it and said that it was a prior model. And then he also said that the Quest 3 is going to be pretty great too. So that was great to hear, both the Apple headset and the Quest 3, sounded good. And I think that if we see the Quest 3 showcased and pushed and pre-ordered, it's because Meta got wind that Apple is showcasing off their headset. And they're like, shit, we got to beat them by 5 days.
Well, it's been a couple of game launches that have kind of backed up that theory of get it out before they do. I won't crap on any of the racing games that exist out there.
No, but it even seemed that way with like Walking Dead Saints and Sinner Chapter 2, that it came out a little buggy on the Meta Quest, but it came out first on the Meta Quest. I think Meta likes that come out first mentality. What's interesting with Ghostbusters, which we both kind of thinking might be showcased a bit in some way, shape, or form, that's kind of a cross Sony and Oculus endeavor, because it's got Sony Motion Pictures as the publisher, with Dreams working on it to be published on PSVR and Oculus Quest.
That's why they brought in Dreams. They're not going to let Sony hold that shit up. They're like, we'll keep you waiting until 2026. What do you think of that?
And Dreams has made games for PSVR before as well, and Quest. Like they're the perfect ones for that.
No, it was a good partnership between the two.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Dreams, and I think that it's been awfully silent on Ghostbusters for a while. So I think that's one of the strongest candidates.
No, I'll stand by we'll get a release date.
Mm-hmm. What was kind of cool too is
I'm gonna be eating a lot of crow on that day, huh?
well, you keep saying it. We both kind of said it, but you're really strong with it. And I agree is anytime that we're talking off air and we're just throwing out guesses or we heard this, we've read this, you always will hear us throw out, well, that could be true or it could not. It's all speculative. Yeah. So there's a lot of
we could Nostradamus it and we'll say 1,000 things and I bet you 10 of them will happen,
The only things that are fact is that to start off June, there's a shit ton of VR showcases coming from all directions with Sony, Upload VR, Apple. Hopefully that's VR involved, and the MetaQuest showcase June 1st. What's cool too is Zuck kind of teased two things on his Instagram channel. So he eventually posted videos of them too. But Meta rolled out this feature on Instagram called Channels. And because I follow Zuck on the Ruff Talk VR Instagram, that sent me an invite. So I accepted it. And it just, he'll send basically what's coming next on there. It's nothing special. Like I said, everybody who followed Zuck got the invite. So he posted two cool things last week. And then, like I said, eventually posted them on social media too. The first being that Meta and BMW are working on a partnership to get headsets in cars for mixed reality experiences. And there's no date coming yet. It's a complicated thing. That's kind of what the picture or the video that they posted was. But it's in the process, it's in the works, and eventually there's going to be a MetaQuest and BMW partnership.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I would have thought Tesla would have done it first. I was like, damn, BMW. Out of nowhere.
Well, the car itself is Tesla's contribution to that. They don't need a headset. You're sitting inside it.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's cool.
But it was cool stuff. It's nothing that's ready yet. It's nothing that's coming out next year. It's just cool to see that the partnership is on the books, just like the Meta and Microsoft partnership. I hope to see that continue to grow. I hope that that's just the seeds for Meta and BMW to continue doing cool shit. Who knows? Dude, it doesn't sound like anything.
I can't wait
now.
for it to be integrated into your actual windshield.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't sound like anything now, but think in 10 years. They're just starting the partnership. Both of these companies think long term.
The reality is that a lot of these cameras will see better than your eyes ever friggin' will.
Mm-hmm.
I always envisioned a car, and this is before VR, this is before anything, where you just use cameras as the windshield, and you have basically like I think way back then it was like plasma screens were your hot thing. And I'm like, why do you even need a windshield if you just had really good cameras all over the front of your car and all over the back of your car, and you just had nothing but technically a TV screen facing you? Use the camera image that has better quality than your eyeballs to drive with.
No, that's the future.
Why not?
We're going to get there. And I think that
now I'm seeing it like, shit, this is definitely going to happen.
Yeah, this is the
you
seeds
don't need
to
a
get
windshield
there.
anymore.
This is the seeds to get there. It's just going to take like 10 years, but the seed's been planted.
Think of driving at night and it looks like daytime.
So real quick, a couple more
Save
things.
the animals.
You
really will, dude. Less people would hit animals.
A couple more things to talk about, but like I always like to do every week, you heard me plug the Patreon a little bit at the start, but we have a really cool promotion going on right now where for new members of our Patreon, if you join the Patreon right now, we have 3 tiers. We have a $5 one, a $10 one, and a $25 one. If you join the Patreon, we will supply a MetaQuest game key for, a couple different games to choose from for a key of equivalent value. So example, you join the $5 tier, we'll send you a $5 game. You join the $10 tier, we'll send you a $10 game. So pretty cool stuff. If you're on the $5 tier right now and you upgrade to the $10 tier, you'll get a $10 game. So some incentive to kind of check out the Patreon. You get a cool little game. No year contract, so it's not like we're going to force you to stay in. But, hey, the idea is that you actually stick around on our Patreon. But, nothing is locking you in. And in the Patreon, too, we do supply some cool benefits for the show as well, including access to a exclusive chat room inside our public Discord channel. And as well, on-air shout-outs, a little video ticker, message at the bottom of our video with your name, So cool stuff like that. So you can check out the link in our show notes for our Patreon. Go partake in our little Patreon game promotion. And as well, you can also find the link for our Discord channel in there as well, which we say it every week, dude. It's such a party in there. Game meetups, nonstop VR discussion, a bunch of different channels.
Oh, not just VR discussions. There's a whole bunch of there's almost a topic for everything.
Food.
And if there's not a channel for it, it's quickly added.
Yeah, food, animal pictures, adventures,
in real life shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Off-topic discussion. I always love the food and animal channels. And you were even saying that we're gonna probably have to add a MetaQuest 3 channel.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely need a Quest 3 channel. I mean, technically, we should have a channel for every headset that people are playing with, just because if they want to have,
specific discussion regarding in terms of support and stuff like that.
Because I can see where, if you're not in the proper channel, something can get buried, and that sucks.
Yeah. No, that's actually a really good idea. So look at that. We'll probably have to add a couple more channels now. But yeah, definitely go join our Discord. Incredibly welcoming. Really cool people. Cool mods.
No toxicity. If you're toxic, the mods will boot you. It's that easy.
It hasn't really happened, but I think I think it's a case that a lot of the VR crowd that hops in, it's a mature crowd,
Well, even some of the youngins. I mean, because there's a few, but they're people that I would play games with. They're not annoying, not pulling on your coattail every 2 seconds. So,
well, since it's such a good environment, it's like, man, you can't go in there and be toxic. It would, how are you going to be toxic with all this good conversation going around? You'd be the only one being toxic. It's awkward.
It happens.
Yeah,
I've seen it happen in other things.
Knock on wood,
it's moderated very
out.
well.
Yeah. So besides that, like I mentioned on our Patreon, we have some tiers, including an on-air shout out. So for this week, I just want to give a shout out to our Patreon supporters on that tier. We have Jake, we have Amelia, we have Crispy, and we have Shoes. So thank you all. And, if you're on the just supporting tier, like I said, you can upgrade up to...
What happened to Siberian Thunderfuck?
You had joked last week that, because we always say,
man,
if you don't want us to give a shout out with
say
your
whatever
name,
you want. We
yeah.
don't care.
And then you had joked, and then I said, you could have us call you your pet name, and you go, well, my pet's name's Siberian Thunderfuck.
Siberian Thunderfuck, motherfucker.
So Jake, one of our Discord members on our Patreon as well, in our Patreon chat, he was like, oh, this is my new, this is my new pet name.
Not only that, but popped out some AI images.
He's done that a couple times.
Yeah, of Siberian Thunderfuck. And one of them was actually, I asked Tracy, I'm like, she's not interested in the word Siberian Thunderfuck. So I'm like, hey, look at these pictures. Which one looks the best? And she actually had picked the same one I liked. That was like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
But it's just funny to.
So he joked, oh, that'll be my
I'll pay for Siberian Thunderfuck just to keep saying it. What do you think of that?
Here, I think
what will it cost me?
I think we're gonna break our F word meter at this point.
Oh, is there one?
Well, 10 in 90 seconds is a little pushing it.
I'm sorry, man.
But so
you can bleep me out.
Huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, whether you're on the just supporting tier, or the shout out tier, whatever. But if you've been on the fence, might as well get a little game key as well, right? Cool stuff. So this podcast is brought to you by Kiwi Design, the leader in MetaQuest and VR accessories. And now you can deck out your device while supporting the podcast. The MetaQuest 2 is a great headset, but do you ever feel things could be a bit more comfortable? Well, we have the solution for you. With lens protectors, controller grips, face covers, head straps, link cables, headset stands, and more, including my two personal favorites, the top version controller grips with added weight and an extended handle, and the Kiwi upgraded Elite strap. Let's be real, we've all whacked our controller. Don't be the guy messaging Oculus support for your own mistake or waiting weeks for an out-of-stock controller. Visit the link in our show notes to prepare yourself today. After visiting the link in our show notes, make sure to use the promo code RuffTalkVR at checkout, all one word, to take full advantage of your savings. And make sure to click the link in our show notes so the podcast gets credit and you help support us. Remember, whatever you need, Kiwi has you covered.
What's up, everyone? Summer's just around the corner, and are you ready to unveil your beach bod? Manscaped is here to ensure your body is ready for the wild with their game-changing full-body grooming and hygiene products. Don't be that guy at the beach with the Austin Powers chest hair, and if you grew some winter man tits, the least you can do is make sure they're hairless. It's time to get ready for that hot summer weather by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR. Manscaped is dedicated to helping you increase your confidence and level up your full body grooming game with the Performance Package 4.0. The kit comes with the essential Lawnmower 4.0 waterproof cordless body trimmer and a ton of other liquid formulations to round out your grooming routine. Whether you're trimming your chest or your treasure chest in your pants, this is the best trimmer on the market. Their trimmer features a ceramic blade designed to cut hair on loose skin and to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology. You can even trim an arrow pointing to the promised land if you're bold enough. Inside the Performance Package, you'll also find the Manscaped Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant and Crop Reviver Ball Toner, an anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer because we all know how painful chafing can be when you're wearing your bathing suit all day. You'll also get 2 free gifts, the Shed Bag of a $39 value and the patented high-performance reduced chafing Manscaped boxers. If you're wearing sandals, you need to get the Manscaped Shears 2.0 Nail Kit. Having the right tools for grooming is essential. Do yourself a favor and always use the right tools for the job. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code RuffTalkVR at manscaped.com. Trim your chesticles with the besticles. This episode of Ruff Talk VR is sponsored by BetterHelp. Virtual reality gaming is amazing, but let's not forget to take care of our mental health in the real world too. BetterHelp is the world's largest online counseling platform offering professional, affordable, and convenient therapy. Their licensed therapists specialize in everything from depression and anxiety to relationship issues and stress management. So, if you've been struggling to balance your love for MetaQuest VR gaming with life's challenges, BetterHelp is here to support you. They'll match you with the perfect counselor tailored to your specific needs. And with the convenience of video, phone, or even live chat sessions, you can get the help you need from the comfort of your own home. As a Ruff Talk VR listener, you get a special offer of 10% off your first month of BetterHelp. Just visit betterhelp.com/RuffTalkVR. That's betterhelp.com/RuffTalkVR and start taking charge of your mental health today.
So, other than that, just a couple more things to talk about. Beyond the BMW partnership, coming in the next MetaQuest update, which there's no shortage of software updates this past year as well. Besides game updates, it's like every month I feel like that I'm getting new features added on the headset. A little bit much to a dismay of some bugs as well, but that's a different conversation. It was announced that custom skyboxes are coming to your home screen. Not your home screen, your home environment. So you'll be able to edit like that.
Add stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And in the teaser Zuck posted in the channel, he said, you'll eventually be able to do this with AI to generate custom stuff. Based off of the word eventually, it doesn't sound like that's how it's rolling out. I imagine you'll have like a couple pre-selected, then be able to upload a file or something like that. But the concept of being able to go on your headset and be like, give me an outer space background.
Yeah.
And for it to actually do it,
it'll have a name
cool.
too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll call it, was it HAL from 2001? And just ask it to create shit. Dude, we're getting closer to the holodeck on Star Trek.
Oh my God, dude. Look at how much our Quest 2 has improved since we got it. Mm-hmm. Software-wise, performance-wise.
No, when this shit's integrated to your walls,
mm-hmm.
and like you're walking around with at that point, it's going to be just paranormal-looking fucking glasses. Yeah. Excuse me.
No.
Paranormal glasses.
Now
I'm censoring myself.
No, it's fine. I was just busting balls too. I was busting balls.
I don't want to get canceled. I get it.
I'll
try. I'm doing my best.
When I look at a headset like the Big Screen Beyond headset, which still does require, it's a PC VR headset, but I'm not looking at it for today. I'm looking at it like, dude, think of that in 5-10 years. Probably not always going to be a PC VR headset. Just they've managed to get that thing so small and light. It looks amazing.
If nobody remembers what the cell phones looked like in the 80s, dude, some of them were like carrying a briefcase.
Yeah. How about computers?
Oh, yeah, dude, it's stupid.
We're recording on a laptop right now, dude. Imagine going to the 70s and showing somebody a laptop.
No, they wouldn't believe it.
Of that power.
Wouldn't put, well, This laptop right here would probably be like 1,000 old computers.
Dude, it's insane. So it's like, yeah, I look at a technology like Big Screen Beyond, like, yeah, it would be cool if it was standalone. I'm more of a standalone user, but it doesn't, I don't care that it's PC VR only because I'm looking at it as, dude, they've moved the weight technology so far forward in one headset iteration.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. Those things are so close to glasses, man.
No, they're wicked small.
Yeah, I love following the CEO of Big Screen on Twitter.
I just want to know how they, again, that's another example of something that probably out of my price range, but I'm dying to know how it works.
Oh, I want to try one so
I'm
bad.
tired of seeing videos and people going, oh, this is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. Well, I noticed Patreon, they let you do like, besides, the subscriber tier, you can set a goal, a price goal. We should price out 2 PC VR computers and post that as the Patreon goal,
Hell no. I can't be trusted with that. That shit will have Alienware written all over it.
We have the Patreon subscribers price
Perhaps
it out.
Alienware could sponsor the podcast and provide us some PC VR capable fucking computers. Damn, I swear a lot.
All right. So 2 more pieces of news to talk about. You're making me laugh, man. The Beat Saber co-founder stepped down from his position. He's resigning from Beat Games, the developers of the company that makes Beat Saber.
Beat Saber.
And I don't know if he's going right to a new project. I imagine, man, knowing the people like high up in tech, they don't chill. They're just always on. We heard that when we interviewed Amanda Watson. It was like, what have you been doing the past year? Boom, 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 boom. It's like, I doubt this guy's going to go ride into the sunset. He's probably already got some new project.
No, I would
itching to go try.
I'm like, he's putting that final coating on his gold swimming pool, and he's going on a trip on his 800-foot yacht.
Dude, one of the highest selling and top rated games on all VR platforms, owned by Meta, got bought by Meta. I think he's doing very well.
Tough one to beat. I mean,
I think at this point it's about the love at this point. So,
but how do you
top that?
Yeah, I mean, you reach a point where you've done your best of the best, and then there's a time where you should just get the hell out. And sometimes it's not always good to go back in it.
Well, selfishly, I hope if he does more endeavors for the industry of VR, clearly he can create a good product. I hope he sticks with VR, AR, MR, XR in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I would
good
be more
talent
inclined
right there.
to think moving off of VR specific and getting into the other categories for sure.
Yeah, I'm wondering, but keep an eye out because don't be surprised if in 6 months, a year, you hear of a big project coming under his wing or something like that.
Sleet Saber.
Yeah, anything he does, I'm sure that.
Oh shit,
that's like the
Beat Saber is another one that people are pretty confident will be talked about at the conference, and that kind of bums me out a little.
Well,
that they're going to waste time with it.
Because what would it be? No more DLC pack? I don't think you ever need to make a Beat Saber sequel. There's no point. Just pump out DLCs for the rest of the time.
Unless the future DLC packs are going to involve the performer themselves holographically put into an AR performance in the background is your, because when you do
like live concert style.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna hear it announced, but I think we're gonna see more of a push to. And if I were a performer, you're behind the 8 ball. But why are you not putting out more concerts in VR? You don't even have to do it in front of people. You can do it in a studio and literally charge $1.99. And I mean, what the hell, dude? Same thing with UFC fights. It's like there's going to be a big move, I think, for all this to start coming together.
Remember when Zuckerberg... Hey, I can't believe I didn't give a shout out to this the other week with Zuckerberg winning a jiu-jitsu tournament.
Old news now.
Old news now, yeah. But Zuckerberg, he's such a big MMA fan, trains jiu-jitsu. He won a jiu-jitsu tournament, man. That's impressive. I'll give him...
Dude, it's mad impressive, but I still laugh at like the hazing you're going to get from losing from him because the consensus isn't,
Yeah, what are you going to do about those 30-day bans now? You're still going to talk crap to him? He'll choke you, I watched the matches too. He went 1-1 with a guy. They competed twice in 2 different divisions. That happens sometimes in jiu-jitsu tournaments. And it was some white belt stuff. You could tell
it doesn't matter.
But I've been training for a long time. I've been training for 13 years. I've seen a lot of people stop training. I've seen a lot of people compete. I've seen a lot of people who have always been too scared to compete. And it's like a big thing. It's to even get out there and compete. in any combat sport, whether it be, you know,
Dude, it could be baseball. It doesn't matter. It's the same feeling you're going to get from doing it.
yeah, I'll say hats off. And he went out there and he won a match. Like that's won a division. That's huge. So huge props to him. But remember when he rented out a UFC?
Yeah, the whole fight.
The whole fight. So it was at the Apex Center, which is like usually a pretty small venue.
Denied by everyone until the start of it.
As a longtime MMA fan, if you hear Dana White say,
"Oh, that's funny,"
that's not happening. It's probably happening.
It's probably happening.
So as soon as, Mackenzie Dern tweeted that Zuckerberg was doing it and Dana White was like, no, she's not, or no, he's not. I was like, oh yeah, he's doing it. And then go figure, rented out the whole stadium. So I think it's an inevitability. We can watch full-blown UFC
studio,
cards.
Not a stadium.
Well, yeah, because it was at the Apex Center.
Holds a couple hundred people.
Yeah, I think that's an important distinction when people hear that story. They didn't rent
that's
out
why
TD
I corrected
Garden.
you, because I didn't want people thinking like, but not for what it's worth. Stadiums, I mean, full stadiums cost a lot, but arenas, they're affordable.
Yeah.
So as much as people would think it costs an arm and a leg, no.
Yeah, the UFC Apex Center was something they started to use during COVID.
Yeah.
Seats, there's 30 people there usually at an event, usually just corners.
Looks like family, friends.
Yeah, it's really
corner.
private.
Yep.
It's where Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series is. So he didn't rent out TD Garden or nothing
No,
either.
it'd be like renting out a nightclub with a big friggin' ring in it.
Yeah.
And for real.
Yeah. But basically to that, I think it's an
There
inevitability.
used to be nightclubs around us that would do that shit.
Yeah. I think it's an inevitability we see the ability to watch live UFC fights on there was that app
it's inevitable. I think it's coming quick though. Same thing with concerts. There's a market for it. Boxing matches.
NBA games have done it already.
Any sporting event. Doesn't matter. It could be soccer, it could be American football, it could be cricket. Who cares?
That's
There's
actually
people
something
who want to watch it.
I'm not a huge basketball fan. I don't have any problem with basketball,
It bores me.
To be honest with you, the only sports I can enjoy are combat sports like boxing, MMA, baseball, basketball, soccer. I got no problem with them, but I agree. It doesn't tickle me in any way. But I'll give the NBA a lot of credit that they're very on the ball with VR.
So is NASCAR.
So isn't that? Yeah, I agree. But even to the point of NBA, not only have they already let you watch games in VR, Gym Class VR, an App Lab graduate, one of the most popular App Lab games that moved to the official store. It's a basketball game, despite the name Gym Class VR. It's basketball. They scored an NBA partnership, and they've rolled out the ability to use all NBA teams' attires for your characters in Gym Class VR. So you could theoretically team up with your friends and all wear Celtics gear and play as the Celtics. That's pretty freaking cool. It's a big partnership.
It is, because the actual licensed jerseys are so god awfully expensive that the
That's
only
actually
way
a
you
good
can
point.
afford one is in VR. Especially if you're allowed to have the sneakers, the headband, you get the jersey, you get the
shoes.
shorts.
I don't know how in depth it goes with that. I haven't.
You're
jumped
walking
into
around
it yet,
with
but
at least 3G's worth of clothes. Come on.
no, it's pretty cool because any basketball fan that hops in that game, in the back of their mind, they're like, "Oh, I wish I could use my favorite team's gear." I'm not gonna say any basketball fan, but
And then
it's
what
definitely a
happens
common
from
thing.
there.
What?
People are going to say, I wish I could be any certain player.
Then we're gonna basically have an NBA game in VR eventually.
Shame on the NBA for not spending the money. They waste a lot of money on dumber shit. So
I don't know if they can because I don't know the way the licensing with 2K works. Because 2K makes the NBA games. I don't know if it's exclusive and they can't even work on other platform stuff. But they seem to be interested in VR. Like I said, with live games in VR, working with Gym Class VR. So at least
they're getting paid.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
It's like,
licensing is easy to talk when you've got the money to back it.
Game developer sends you a message Monday, says, "Yo, Damien, we want to use your Rough Talk logo in our game." The conversation doesn't stop there. You don't go, dude, that's the coolest. Go for it. No, there's always some sort of even product placement.
Licensing is a interesting animal. And we see in VR that there's some people that nail licensing, like Mighty Coconut with that their crew, Douglas Neighbors over at Fun Train,
Twilight Zone.
He's good at it.
I mean, you got
Russ Harding with Maze Theory.
You got Hollywood experts that are out there making VR games, and they're using their networks because life is who you've run into or have talked to, and it's all one big network, and they're not new to it. So
yeah, something very underrated in the world of scoring licensing is it is a skill. It's very weird, but
You don't come in blind doing it. No,
yeah, you see that there's people good at it.
Yeah,
Cool stuff. Anything else you wanna run over on this bad boy? You want to wrap this pony up?
This pony. I don't want to wrap up any pony. It'd probably be dead by the time it got wherever it was being mailed.
Any thoughts on speculation we didn't go over? Any
No, Assassin's Creed. I think we'll see the footage for that.
Ooh, you didn't mention that earlier. So yeah, you think we'll
Behemoth
see
there? Yeah.
Yeah, Behemoth from the same developers
we
as
know
Walking Dead.
We know that's coming.
They showed some cryptic ass trailer like a year ago.
I'm so out of guesses that I can't guess on the things I don't even know I'm not guessing on.
It's just like all that
weird.
Apple discussion that I kept pushing. I'm sorry about that because it is kind of a little futile because it's like, well, let's see what actually comes out. And it's the same thing with June 1st, but
don't even know.
Meta's got me hyped with these cryptic tweets and these.
The buzz is real and it's across the board and so many showcases dropping real quick. And it's just the only thing that sucks is I hope that and this just isn't for Meta, it's for all the developers, is use a good strategy on releasing these games because you do not want to go up against some of the heavy hitters that are going to be dropping or you're going to get buried. You know, so that's an area that's becoming more important in VR is properly getting your game out there so there is some sort of, traction to it.
And it might be hard with 40 games shown.
But that's the thing is like you need to know. Just don't.
And are these 40 new games? Are we going to see updates from existing games? Are we going to see returning VR studios like Fast Travel, Resolution? Are we going to see a bunch of things that we've never heard of?
I think we're going to see a mix of like Demio. We're going to see some Demio flex for sure.
I was convinced that we were going to see
I think every studio that you and I personally like really love are going to have some sort of something being shown.
I really hope Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I think that's what everybody wants. I'm less confident of seeing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas than I am of seeing an Apple headset shown off.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm going to be so bummed.
Just at least a word on it. Say that we're still working on it. Don't even show me anything.
Yeah, I'll respect a good lie.
I don't need footage is what I'm saying.
I
can just take
with my employees. It's like I had a boss that used to say that and then I carried it over. And it's like, okay, I don't mind if you lie to me.
Oh, I'll
respect a good lie.
I'd prefer a brutal truth than a hard.
Yeah, but that's not how people work.
But
dude,
we
talk to anybody in business. They've all had an employee whose grandmother died 4 times,
But here's the thing. You can't go out into the showcase and say, hey guys, just so you know, GTA San Andreas is no longer
they wouldn't say that.
Because then anything else you show that day, people are going to be pissed about.
I think no matter what, and I've come to the conclusion, I don't think it can be canceled. There was way too much
hype. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're also going to get some more Microsoft / Meta.
I've been saying this
together
since it was before the Meta name, when it was still Oculus. I've said, man, an Oculus, using your Oculus on a Xbox would be world domination for both Microsoft with Xbox and Oculus.
Well, people are always saying like, why isn't Xbox killed off some divisions? And it's like, because maybe their big plan isn't to do it themselves and just piggyback their technology off of. Dude, what if you could PC VR your headset through an Xbox?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by use your headset.
Especially with the 10 or the S. It's like...
Or maybe for the next generation Quest and the next generation Xbox, it's just something that they can just work on, not even to incorporate in this one, just keep it in mind for the next one. Because think of this, it lets Microsoft compete with Sony for VR without actually investing in the hardware themselves.
Yeah, they don't have to do nothing.
And it lets Meta work on higher end experiences, appeal to that PC VR crowd, and they can approach developers with the appeal to make high end games while still having a market of players. PC VR right now, man, I don't like to shit on games by name, but there's a couple kind of hyped PC VR games this last week. One notably that dropped, and the performance requirements on it are ridiculous.
No.
And it's like, how many people even own a setup compatible with that? So it's like when Meta goes to developers to get them to make games and appeal to them, they can say, hey, we have 20 million quests. That's a big market of people. but you can't appeal to them to make, high end games where there's going to be 2,000 people, So it's like if that Xbox Oculus partnership would allow them to go, hey, you can make a high end game, and there's still 5 million people who own a Quest and an Xbox. You're gonna get sales,
I think it would also give the developers an opportunity to know that, like, you can make a game specific for knowing it's going to run through the Xbox, and just use obviously the headset as the receiver of all that awesomeness, as well as be able to offer a version if they even chose to. But it could be the creation of like an Xbox VR store in conjunction with. So again, Meta would get a piece of the pie.
It's a win-win-win-win.
Oh, dude, you're just siphoning through their technology that pre-exists.
Again, and who wins the most is the gamer,
the consumer.
Yeah.
Oh
now
my
we
God,
got high-end experiences that are affordable. Because I could afford an Xbox. If they had said that partnership was boom, now tomorrow, if you own an Xbox, you can do that, I would have to go get an Xbox.
Right.
So
it would be a game changer.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to hear something.
Yeah. I don't expect it in the Quest 3, and I don't expect it in the current Xbox generation. I expect it on the next generation for both.
I could see they could do it on the 10 or the S. It's a powerful.
Yeah, with that.
As far as
especially
the
with those cloud
requirements for
servers.
games, though, I have zero sympathy, because my whole life in computer gaming has been chasing the video cards and the RAM to
It's
be
tough
able
for
to
a developer to work through all those different
to be able-
possible specs.
to be able to play a freaking game. So
Yeah.
it's like, I know what it's like to go, oh shit, I have to play this on the lowest setting. And I just got my computer a year ago.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. It's like, never once has the computer industry ever like been like, okay, this is what the consumer has to work with. Let's all unanimously. No, they're always, now you got Unreal 5. Come on, dude. You're going to.
Some people have $1,200
Get
video
the hell out
cards.
of here.
Some people have video cards that cost more than people's computers, and it's like,
Yeah,
how
the video card is worth far more than your motherboard.
And if you make a game that's reliant on having that level of video card, you're probably not going to get a lot of sales.
But they don't care. They've never cared. I don't have one example of a company that gave a shit and said, we're going to keep this great. It's like, dude, I mean, everybody's done it.
Yeah.
You can't put it above like low quality, low render, everything. Turn off everything just for the thing not to be one big lag fest of.
That is definitely the benefit of consoles. And also on another end too, it's like it would also give Meta access to Microsoft's cloud servers to potentially do cloud VR gaming off their headset. Because that's that issue to develop and all that technology. But Microsoft's cloud servers are solid.
They work. They work really well.
So again,
Still
win,
in
win,
beta though, I think.
Wow, really?
I think. I
What
don't know.
do you see it when you fire it up? It says in beta or something like that.
Pretty sure. I'm just not 100%, because one time I thought that and it was something else.
Because I've always hear really good things. So
Dude,
it's like,
I'll be honest. I mean, I get kicked out of games on the headset sometimes.
it happened
you
in
know,
Ghost of Tabor the other
dude,
night.
I had a message pop up yesterday, a notification message from Oculus saying that I can turn off notifications if I hit the option button on my controller, and you can turn off notifications. And it didn't go away.
The irony in that.
It stayed. Yeah, it had me. I almost screenshotted it just to be a jerk. I was like, you know what? This is one of these examples where, why should I not? And I'm like, I'm not going to be an asshole. But the whole game, I had this big gray box in front. And yes, I did go to the options. It brings me, because I clicked on it even, click, and it brings me to the settings. And this is where it gets even better. There's the button that I can check that I don't want to be fucked with. I don't want to be messed with in any VR 3D environment. So if I'm in any 3D VR world, I don't want notifications. So what I do, I turned it on. So don't bug me. Go back to the game. Thing's still stuck on my screen.
I think as soon as we finished the round, you went to go shut off the headset and it disappeared.
I'm like, this is BS, man. I'm like, I was so bummed. But we actually played the whole round.
Yeah.
Even though I had this big dumb gray
I think
box.
we got a
on my
successful
screen.
extraction too.
Yep. 3 guns.
Always good to leave on a note like that.
3 assault rifles.
So other than that, I will give a spoiler in the sense that we don't have a game review dropping this week,
No,
but we do have a pretty kick-ass interview coming. So
I think so.
I'm excited for it.
I've been wrong before, but I think so.
This one I'm pretty confident about, but
It's going to be fun.
I'll save the details for our Patreon Discord channel.
Yeah,
if you want to hear who we're interviewing ahead of time, I'll tell you there.
We'll let you know.
Other than that, stay tuned for later this week when you get that interview. And other than that, subscribe, rate us 5 stars, go check out that Discord channel, that Patreon.
YouTube.
Go take advantage. Ooh, thank you. You didn't call me out this week for not mentioning it, but yeah.
No, I was waiting to see how it played out, but I got this gut feeling it wasn't happening.
It was slipping. So we're trying to push our YouTube a little bit more. So even if you listen on the audio, go subscribe on YouTube. Help us pump up those numbers.
Hey, why not?
Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Probably would have had it by now if we pushed YouTube the way we should have from the start. But it's all part of the learning experience.
We're taking like the organic approach, man.
And don't forget about the game promotion going on for our Patreon, where if you subscribe to the Patreon or upgrade your tier in the Patreon, you'll get a game key of the equivalent value. Pretty cool stuff.
Sweet.
Other than that, check you out later this week and enjoy the rest of your day.